hear the tuneless twang of Lorelei's harp. Are you humans in league with the mermaids? Very well. Then I shall deliver your corpses to them as a reminder of who truly rules the waves. Prepare to die! Begone from my realm!
Victory will be ours! Shall not pass!
Honored luminary, will you permit me and my daughter a few minutes alone? Despite Mordigan's machinations, my subjects have remained content. My kingdom has remained free of undue suffering. Alas, you, my dear, were not so lucky. I cannot help but wonder how things might have been if I had remained by your side on that fateful day. Perhaps Mordigan would not have possessed me. Perhaps I would not have missed all those years with my beloved daughter. If only I had been better, stronger. Perhaps I could have resisted him. You were meant to know only peace. To be the princess of a great kingdom, blissfully ignorant of the woes of the world. But no. Instead, you fought. But you have fought enough. It is time to come home. To claim your birthright. To live in peace and privilege here with me in Heliodor.
Oh, Father. I wouldn't change any of it. I wouldn't change a single day. I've been traveling now for many years, searching for something, meaning, I suppose. And it's been hard.
I guess she enjoyed not having a father.
But it was worth it. I found what I was looking for in the end. You, Father. Rab, my friends. The people of Heliodor. All the people of Erdrea, in fact. These are what give life meaning, and they need protecting. And I'll do whatever it takes to protect them. All of them.
You do your kingdom and your father proud. I had thought to save this for the day you took the throne, but I see now that it is time. The tiara is very precious. It once belonged to your mother.
Thank you, Father. It's beautiful.
Now go. Do what you must do. And when all is ended, and peace has returned, you must come home to us. To Heliodor.
Of course. I'm looking forward to it.
I hear the tuneless twang of Lorelei's harp. Are you humans in league with the mermaids? Very well. Then I shall deliver your corpses to them as a reminder of who truly rules the waves. Prepare to die! Be gone from my realm!
Victory will be ours!
think that fixed the double audio, but it's a little too late there. The end of an era? Yeah. I'll be willing to see it off for sure. It was a good run. But, a lot of Dragon Quest. At this point, ready to start a different big series, or probably finish up some of the big series I think, yeah. If we're talking long RPG runs, finish the Trails series or something. Or Tales. Trails, not Trails. Let's see, we got a bunch of shit. Maybe I'll start some Fire Emblem games. Alright. Oh, my controller's over there. Great. 1 sec. And it's not like I didn't play other RPGs during the during this run. I didn't binge them either, but it was just one of those things I was like, I've been working through it, so I'll occasionally throw one in if I'm feeling it. Kind of just like a very light goal, more than it was like a thing I'd force myself to do. It was a good time. I mean, I've enjoyed the Dragon Quest stuff, but yeah. $11 later.
Despite Mordigan's
Because I mean, it's been what,
my
2 to 3
subjects
years
remained
now. So.
content. My
Maybe
kingdom
2
has
years. I don't
remained
remember.
free of undue suffering. Alas, you, my dear, were not so lucky.
I think it's been like maybe 3.
I cannot help but wonder how things might have been if I had remained by your side on that fateful day.
Alright. Well, if you guys want to see the rest of that, go back in the VOD. That's played a couple times, I think, already, so. Oh, nice camera. Yeah, I couldn't imagine actually binging the whole fucking series. But my reasoning is, if I want to get through all of them, I should probably start early and then occasionally work one in when I'm actually in the mood for it. Because if I do try to binge it, it would just be super boring. It looked so bright. Yeah, it doesn't work if the exposure, or the camera has issues when the exposure is higher. I have to lower the exposure. But the settings reset on the camera every time anything happens on my computer. Sometimes it's just the exposure, sometimes it's like every setting. Allergies in my throat's full of shit. Alright, so yesterday, I feel like I was getting sick. I did not feel good for most of the day, so it was an off-stream day anyways. So I was just gonna grind and finish up all the side stuff, which I did. Felt better by the end, and I was gonna finish this, but decided just to fall asleep early. On the 8th is the VGAs. I want to keep this schedule going forwards. Wake up around the time they'd start, so at least for the next week I'll keep it. So the idea is, I think after this, we're gonna do Astronite, because I got that in the mail. I'm not doing Callisto, I just watched a playthrough of that. It was kind of whatever. Whatever to bad. There's some good graphics, but I don't know. I would say there's not much art to put those graphics to. There's no Dead Space. I'm not interested in playing this. But anyways, I'd like to do the new Plague Tale game before the VGAs, since I got nominated for like half of them. Figure if I'm gonna play that game anyways, and I want it off my hard drive because it's massive, might as well do it before it's gonna be talked about every 2 minutes. And I played the other one earlier this year, just for that occasion, so it was pretty whatever. It looked really nice. I love the art, but Jesus. It's pretty much just like a shitty Last of Us, gameplay wise. Even that's not like some paragon of the first one anyways, of gameplay, so. Yeah, we'll probably do that after Astronite, which I think is a short game. We'll see. I hope it is. I'm interested in it. It's supposed to be kind of like a difficult but short Metroidvania. But we're gonna finish this up, do a tier list. The tier list, what's up, Sin? I mean, a lot of these games run together. I think the later games are a bit more distinct than the earlier ones in some ways, especially gameplay and new systems they add in. The other games might add a couple little quirks, but I reviewed them a little bit yesterday to try to freshen up what each of them look like. But we should be able to do an okay tier list, but it won't take long. There's not a whole lot to say about them individually. And yeah, that's kind of what's coming up. Yeah, after Plague Tale, like I said, it'll be the VGAs. That'll probably be like a whole night. Other than that, if Dragon Quest Treasures ends up being good, we'll play that in this December. Otherwise, the only new thing really that I'm having sent in would be Crisis Core. Be our next RPG. So we'll try to do Phonotopia in there. We'll have Splatoon Big Run. Little FF14. I'm gonna do Dark Tide a little bit. And just a bunch of other little shit. Preferably some new stuff that I can knock out quicker. Maybe return to Monkey Island and Metal Hellsinger and shit. We can do then finish Power Wash Simulator. I've been doing a little bit of that off stream. Just to be have as much shit done for the end of the year review. Parascientific Escape December. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I get to a VN in December. Yeah. So what you guys actually, your Dragon Quest fans, care about is probably a must spread right now. So here's the gear. +3 everything. I got Catholicon rings on everyone, which is 50% sleep, confusion, poison, envenomation, bedazzlement, blindness, paralysis, turn miss. So it's 100% on those. It might not be the perfect build, but it was just the easiest. I have Elfin Charm on her instead because I got one for free. I could have made more of these, but so she doesn't have 100% in some shit, but she covers a little bit more bases. Mostly casting spells. Decided to grab a dodge dagger for him. He also has new talent tree, which is useful. It's given me the idea of a couple different strategies if the first strategy fails on this boss. My plan is just to play it just clean. Just damage on the main character, defense, maybe do a little forbearance on Erdrick. Or Hendrix, I keep calling him Erdrick, because Erdrick's a fucking character like half the games. Yeah, I like this outfit. It's supposed to be his dad's like wedding outfit or some shit. That's pretty cool. I was watching someone speedrun 3 whenever I've caught with your stream. I mean, it's a comfy series, and I think if you like really classic RPGs, they're very consistent, fun time. They're just not gonna like punch super high. You know, they're not like obviously the most creative of worlds or the most, you know, innovative of systems, but it knows that and it works within that, so it makes it comfy. Comfy to watch, yeah. There you go, that works too. So yeah, everything's +3 rings, solid weapons. I don't think he had anything better I could have made him. We got other new shit, but it's not as good like the golden tiara. That's it. Also, this is their inventories. Pet pop on everybody. Yggdrasil leaves. Elfin elixirs. I could probably put some more stuff in here, but I have shiny cat. There's your breeding ground finally. Boar fruit. I don't know if I want to give this to at this point. Forgot I picked these up recently. Good. But yeah, their inventories are essentially just a collection of infinite use items, swords of light and stuff. Elfin elixirs, Yggdrasil dews, pet pops, got some pet pip on here too. Benevolence. Eric doesn't have any. I'm gonna grab some for him. We'll go grab a few more. The inventories aren't completely full, but I feel like it's plenty. The character builder too. They're not all maxed. You have to get seeds of skill to fully max everybody, unless you like knew ahead of time how many you needed for each character. I have a couple that have too much. Like Eric has 6 too many. You could farm seeds of skill probably, but I don't care. These are just like random skills. I don't think they even get points for some of their last ones. Do I have like 4 seeds of skill. That's not a big deal. I could go for all the achievements in this game if I wanted. I would just have to get all the cosmetic here, which wouldn't take long, but I don't care. I ain't messing with it. Also, we've done every quest I can, except for one you can only do in post-game. which I will do really quickly because I think all it is you just take an item you get from beating the boss and give it to somebody. And it unlocks the super hard, super boss rush bullshit. I'm not touching that. That's post game, man. I plan with it. Yeah, I got a little tier list open on the side. What I'll do here. Honestly, I hope the end of the game doesn't take too long. I'm pretty done. I enjoy doing the side stuff and kind of the remaining main story shit after we kind of got over the gimmicky stuff, but I think we're well and good done now. Who else still has space? So my different strategies are my current one, which is just comfy, just typical main character that does damage, buffs, heals, the classic. The strategy after that would be to do the Eric setup. Takes a little longer to set up, but does quite a bit of damage. You guys have seen that one in the beginning of the game. It was neat. I think it's a cool thing for Dragon Quest, but I got tired of doing it after a little bit. Mainly because it has a lot of setup, and if the enemy knocks you down or anything, which I guess they can't really do now as easily, turn into a annoying thing. So I started just doing the main character. He had good damage, and Eric wasn't available for most of the game, so this is kind of turned into my comfort strat, if you will. We could go even harder and make like supreme stage stamps for everybody for breath attacks, but I'm not getting that crazy. That's like super overkill because I've rarely had to use insulates anyways in this one. Breath attacks seem to do a lot less damage. And in the old games you would have special gear that would help protect from breath attacks, and they would do a lot. But in this, I mean, you have elemental resistances, which I think just covers all of it. The third strat is to probably do magic first. Veronica. I've noticed it does a lot of damage, but it costs all of her mana to do. But since I can give free turns with Sylvanda to her, and then just use Elfin Elixirs with everybody else every turn or two, I could shoot off some pretty gigantic hits, do some magic debuffs or elemental debuffs. It's probably pretty good. And since I have Elfin Elixirs, I could just do it pretty often. That would probably be the most set up. At least be consistent, I suppose. But I'm just gonna go classic right now. The 3 people with the hero armor. And Veronica. Oops. This is a thing I picked up yesterday. Funny enough, this is a item that tells you where all of the story quests are still in the game. The only thing it tells me is to do those Vardros runes, which I've already done. You could just do it 5 times. So. I could probably do it, and then unlock the super evolution weapons, but I think we're gonna... I got level 99 on everything, and from what I understand, 70, 75 is the recommended, so... Granted, I was fighting some mini-bosses and they were still doing work, so... Gear does matter a lot there. I am still on Draconic as well, so... Figured can't over prepare, right? I don't know what he's gonna do, so let's finish it up. Pray we do. I want it to be easy as fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't care how crazy it's supposed to be, man. I want smooth sailing. Are we gonna get a lame final boss song? We've already unlocked the achievement for being everywhere, so I think it's just the boss. Cool. Space. Oh, we have proper battlefield.
Come, eat dragon spawn.
You too. Oh, he's got a helmet on. So he's got some face under there, we'll see.
The evil radiating from him, it's almost unbearable.
He radiates evil. Corruption.
Dragon begat Yggdrasil. I shall destroy the world tree. The void shall consume.
Why did he wait this long to do it? I was out there fucking leveling up, chilling. Yeah, his final bosses are either like funny, like goofy, or just like really generic, like DBZ designs. It'll usually be like the first phase is a DBZ villain, and then the next phase is some kind of funny monstrosity. Like DQ8, he's just a fat blob. I mean, at least they look evil, I guess, but they look like, yeah, goofy evil.
Can we really do this?
Oh, honey, you better believe we can. Come on.
I'm sure this guy will have a few phases, right? Do you think he's gonna lose his helmet in the second phase? Or morph into some freak?
This is it. It's time to do what you were born to do. Ready?
Can I say no?
Here it comes. The final showdown. Let's do this.
Everyone's here. I like how the king gave Jade that circlet that I showed you guys in the cutscene off stream, and it's just shit. Meanwhile, random villagers are giving Eric like godly helmets and stuff. It really just got fucked, man.
Come, children of
I do like in that cutscene though, Jade's like, I wouldn't trade anything for the world. Implying that she was totally fine not having a father for the last like 15 years. I got a kick out of that. He's such a shitty father, man. She's like, oh no, it's fine. To the void. Oh, I've got you guys turned up a bit. Yeah, a sec. I turned it up to record higher because I had the volume too low. I'm sure phase 2 will have a new song, right? Right?
You do that in such strength. Thank you.
more damages to do the big hit. I'll get some debuffs. Veronica already dead. We got a fucking super buff, man. No time for damage. Oh, yeah. Wait for him to wipe the buffs though. But I got mana for days, so. There it is, man. Thank you for the waste of my time. Oh great, I forgot my attack buff is gone too. Blade of Ultimate Power sucks, by the way. Because it doesn't scale. It's just a flat, like, 700 something damage. Why is Serena not getting any fucking heal time, man? Veronica being a useless POS as usual. He dropped my defense back down.
You do get in such scripts.
I hope we get another song at some point, right? I don't know. It might just be the phase 1 of Mortigan. I can't tell. It's so generic. Straight up. No idea.
Now we're talking. Almighty Yggdrasil, hear my prayer.
Can he wipe this? I'm very curious if he'll wipe it. Yeah, he can wipe it. And ask yourself, what's the point of some of these abilities if he can just wipe them all? I gotta heal because I don't know if I'll get a chance. Maybe they just want you to tank it? Clearly not. They're like, hey, you can never buff, but also you can never tank.
the storms
Will Serena get an attack? Do I risk it all?
Sir Hendrik!
My thanks.
I could have Hendrik just tank all of it, but I think he'd actually die without proper buffs.
not give in. Accept your fate.
And I like how this fight is just purely designed around reviving people every 2 minutes. Like, there's no way. Veronica's level 99. Maxed. The best gear. And she just can't take it. So you're just supposed to fucking,
Don't worry, I'm here to help.
just revive every 2 seconds, I guess.
Thanks.
Gonna be a war of attrition, man.
Here!
My thanks.
The breath attacks aren't bad. I don't need to insulate. See, the funny thing is the hardest hitting thing is a dark attack, and there's no Hymn of Dark. We just can't bother with that.
You do get in such scrapes. Thank you.
At least now you can't do that other attack, I guess. I think it was it his melee? I'm not even sure. Good, I can pep whenever I want. I should probably do that. Oh, he's wreathed in a shield of dark. I forgot about that. Can I get rid of that with the Sword of Light? There might be a gimmick there. There was one alien who said in his weird broken localization English that you needed the Super Sword of Light to, like, do something. And maybe that's what's going on here. Maybe I'm playing hard mode. Because I'm like, I'm maxed out, dude. And we're still... I mean, we're living, but I mean, if without, like, Elf and Elixirs, we'd be dead for sure. We'll find out.
Here you are.
Well, we'll find out right now.
Now we're talking.
I bet his arms come back. Maybe I have to use the item? I'm not sure. I really only give him one elf and elixir. Would be a good time to put some pointless... Use this dead turn here. Also, I think Parallax does more damage than like some of his best shit. Let's see here. Deal with any evil effects. Maybe you don't actually use it, maybe it's just like a meme.
Here you are.
It says it can do away with any easel effects, but then you have to pick yourself. No, just the super sort of that. I guess you just had to use this. What's the supreme sort of light then? That was way harder to make. I guess it just lets you debuff people like the original.
Your fate is already sealed.
I like how it's like a real boss, but then it's actually just a joke boss you have to use an item on. I'm guessing this will be the real boss. I think it's too difficult beforehand. Okay, now the music starts. Okay, music happening. Okay, the damage, dude. Okay. I was like, man, I prepared pretty hard, and it's still pretty touch and go. This is more than I expected. At least the song sounds like it might be a final boss song. Dragon Quest VIII was just like ambient noise. Probably buff her. Could get a lot more damage. Oh wait, I need to use sap. This mask. Just doing a little bit of hard mode before this part. That's how you know I didn't look it up ahead of time. Fucking spent 10 hours doing fucking the part you're not supposed to be. I wonder if something happens if you can beat him while he's like juiced like that. Wonder if you're like you get a wow, congratulations. Probably not. Disruptive wave. But will they heal me before phase 2? That's the big question. Unless this is it. I don't want to debuff him. Baby man. Astronaut baby man. What are we gonna break him out of his armor? And he's gonna be like, whoa, I'm the astronaut baby man. What part of it reminds you of SM25? The dude being like a big suit of armor or whatever. Near the end. Oh yeah. Side content you can only do before the final boss. That damn noise. Oh, I have phase 2. Because if I didn't have that first phase, it would have been a joke fight, right? And that first phase was me not knowing to use the sword or how to use it.
Bested by mere humans. Twice. But know this, the dark cannot be erased, for without it, light cannot exist. My body may die, but my spirit shall live on.
Is this gonna be it?
I shall endure.
Okay. And they kind of has like the cell wings going on. The cell armor.
Light, foul light, hideous. Why do you burn so bright?
These auto timings. Alright. Was it just a one phase here? You get the fucking follow me, Fox. Well, at least we got to see a whale flying away from a space explosion. I mean, I know I'm like over prepared, but I gotta wonder if some people say this boss is ultra hard because they don't know about the sword thing. Because I mean, we were getting popped with the sword thing. I mean, it was still under control, we just had to revive a lot. Because you only could kill somebody if you did a melee hit on someone, you can only do one of those. Yeah. Not even 2 phases. I maxed out. I wasn't playing around, man. Everybody hyped this boss up, and I'm like, I'm not playing around. It took me like 2 hours to get max
really
level.
over this time. The last great evil is gone. Our world is safe at last.
I think if I had done all the story stuff before grinding, I'd be around low to mid 70s. So about 20 something. I also have like God gear.
We should be celebrating.
Like status ailments don't even work. There's only like a couple that work on me. So whenever he did that eyeball thing, it just didn't do anything. Which helps a lot.
I get it. You're thinking of her, aren't you? You want to go and help her. Well, what What are we waiting
So assuming they don't want you to grind, and you literally just do all the content, I'd be around 70 to 75. If it's like any other Dragon Quest and you need to grind like 5 to 10 levels, then this fight would be like 80. Something probably max. Because I'm probably... wouldn't be surprised if I'm a little higher than most, just because I do all the side shit. So probably a good like 20 to 25 levels over. If it's going by tradition. But since it's some post game, I don't know. Or it's some post game thing, I'm not sure. I just figured he'd have 2 phases. Even Mordegon had 2 phases, right? There's Dragon Quest bosses who have like 8 phases. They just keep coming, they grow new limbs, and a new thing happens, and a new phase happens, and a new thing happens.
And you have succeeded in your quest. Shadows no longer hang heavy over the land. Evil has been banished from Erdrea. But if this is so, why have you returned? What brings you here now, when all is as it should be at last?
Because he seems like a challenge for level 99 if you don't use the sword. But once we used it and the real music came on, then yeah, it seemed lower. Maybe that's the idea. They made it so you could fight him at 99 if you wanted. But I mean, they have the post game shit now, so. Mamma mia.
Art thou?
How does she have her armor on when we have her armor?
Thou wouldst have me return there?
Like she's gonna go back in time? But does that mean everything we did is pointless? Why didn't we just do this in the first place? She gonna change the future, man? Again? They can't keep getting away with this, man. They just keep fucking time hopping back and forth. They're not back and forth, just back and back. Yeah, what the fuck, dude? If Mordegon never happens and Erdrick doesn't die, then there's a good chance nobody here would meet or be born. It's a huge event.
I hope she finds him.
Even Erdrick's lantern in the sky probably has some kind of cultural significance that'll be there.
Why can't I shake the feeling this has all happened before?
There's plot holes already in this. The mermaid being alive shouldn't even be a thing. I think. I read that that was like a whoopsie, but they didn't give a shit. Because the payoff was worth it. Space. Do time traveling again? Who cares? Okay, I can't change it. Fuck the super sword of light, dude. I didn't win with this piece of shit. I won with this. I'm surprised this super big boss at the end was just one phase. Even by Dragon Quest standards, there's plenty of bosses who have like multiple limbs you beat up. Definitely makes it feel more post-gamey. Cool arena though. And while the music wasn't like great, at least it felt like it could be final boss music. Okay. That's good for you.
Well, look who it is.
Why is Veronica
So
still a
nice to
kid?
see you again.
All evil is
It feels
gone.
like an age now since we defeated the Dark One, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
she's just cool with it.
Now, let's get down to business, shall we? We've been worried that your life might be lacking purpose now things have quietened down. Do you remember the vision we saw some time ago? The one where Serenica and the Watchers sent Kalasmos up to his prison in the sky? Well, afterwards, Serenica took the Sword of Light back to its rightful resting place in the heart of Yggdrasil, didn't she?
Stop changing my sword, goddammit.
So, we were thinking, what with the sword being such a symbol of Erdria's newfound peace and everything, we should do as Serenica did. We should
No,
return it to the world.
it's my
to be
sword.
safe.
No, it's mine.
We know how attached to it you are, but we couldn't help thinking it would be safer with Yggdrasil. And besides, we wouldn't want you losing it, would we?
I didn't even need it, man.
So what do you say? Shall we take the Sword of Light back to where it belongs? Don't be like that. We can't have the most important weapon in the world rusting in a cowshed in cobblestone, can we?
My fucking
Come on,
goose sword
I
is
know you
better.
must be itching to get back on the road again. Stop
What
being
happened to
such a
the
spoil
Supreme
sport.
Sword of Light? The other Sword of Light I have.
So what do you say?
I've literally got
Shall
two.
we take the Sword of Light? That's the spirit! Right, we're ready when you are. I'm sure we won't be gone for too long. But it's quite a way to Yggdrasil and back. Why don't you go and say your goodbyes? And we'll wait here for you.
I mean, we could just warp, dude. What do you mean? It'd take literally 2 minutes. Which Sword of Light do they want? The Supreme Sword or the Super Sword? The Team Forge? You reforge it. That's what this one is. You reforge it and then use your mini forge to upgrade it to the Supreme Sword. Unless you mean the friends we made along our way. The Sword of Friendship. And yeah, I agree. Say goodbye to everybody? I don't give a fuck. Yeah, you do the cutscene again and reforge it, but it's not as cool because it's a quick cutscene. Why would I need to say my goodbyes? We're about to be right back. What's wrong with these chicks, dude? Oh, GG. But yeah, it's way more special in that one. That I'm walking around with 2 swords of light. Make the kind of a joke that we're taking back the sword of light. Can I see both of the swords at once if I... Time to return the sword of light, dudes. They're like, wait a second. Huh? I guess you could have the shittier one. I used my fucking ready-make oven to Make a better one. Was Yggdragon some kind of other, like, cosmic entity or something?
Coming here brings back a lot
Yin
of
Yang.
memories, doesn't it? It's such a special place.
And why did they name the main hero Erdrick? That's the main hero in the first 3 games, right? Is it just the typical naming scheme, or... I thought they dropped the Erdrick thing for a while. I don't know if it's supposed to tie into the first 3 or if that's just a meme. It's probably more like a Zelda type of thing.
Came the light. That's how the books of legend begin. The world was a cold, desolate wasteland, and then light dawned. It was the gift of the World Tree, and it gave birth to Erdrea, our beautiful home. This is where it all began. This is the source from which the river of life flows. I think it's time, don't you? Time to return the Sword of Light to its rightful resting place.
I mean, it's only been gone for like a few days, man, in this timeline. Jesus. Relax. Oh. Can we kill it?
So you have come at last. Welcome, children of the light. I am the being your kind once called the Yggdragon. Yggdrasil and I are one and the same. Long, long ago, I did battle with Kalasmos. I was defeated.
Of course.
My radiance was extinguished.
Fucking jobbers, man, on the light side always. Got some human to do for you. Like a joke.
Without me,
like the 456 dragon. There's just a taxi.
Until finally, darkness reigned entirely. But that was not the end. The Watchers, my erstwhile comrades in arms, came to my aid. The time that had been torn from me was set in motion once again. I shed my old form and took on a new one, that of Yggdrasil. And I set about creating this world. How long have I waited for true heroes to appear and bring this story to an end? I could not defeat Kalasmos.
But you could create the entire world?
Nor could Erdwin before you. No, it fell to you to vanquish him once and for all.
We should have just beat him without the sword, man.
Luminary.
Would have been cooler. We don't need your fucking sword.
The savior.
Yeah, dude. The fucking Watchers just walk up, reverse her time, and like super juice her, then she creates the world.
Of Erdrick.
Oh no, Erdrick's a title.
Of heroes. Know
is it just... Why is the guy big at Erdrick now?
The darkness will surely rise again. None can say when, nor what form it might take. Perhaps I myself may even succumb to the night. But one thing we can know for certain. These things will never die.
Darkness in the form of microtransactions, white-collar crime, and corporate greed. It's the biggest evil of all. Can Dragon Quest XII be us fighting like evil at the stock market?
To take the sword in hand once more.
Okay, sequel bait. I can have a loose connection again.
The echoes of that hero's valor shall ring through the ages.
Or is this just a Dragon Quest is cool reference? NFT monkey. Who's this? Is this the Dragon Quest 1 guy? I don't know the designs of the main characters, right? At least there's a bit more of a hype sign off. Yeah, it's gotta be that. John Quest. John Quest, yeah. Yeah, probably the guy from 1 or 2. Because 1 through 3 is kind of a neat thing. Spoilers. But it's like, you know, you're kind of like this, right? Where you're kind of, Erdrick is like the original hero, blah, blah, blah. And then by the end of the 3rd one, you time hop back and discover like you are Erdrick essentially. And you're not the same guy in each of them, but it's kind of like its own like weird bootstrap thing. And so it's kind of cool. But those are the only ones with Erdrick, I think, right? So it's weird that this one has Erdrick. So maybe the idea is that like this is like a prequel to 1, 2, 3. These games are super on their own. Technically, 1 through 3 is a trilogy, 4 through 6 is a trilogy. But like they might as well be their own thing. But there's like loose connections still. Okay, so we've got like a Dragon Quest celebration thing here. Because of each time I tie into different games or some shit. I could see that. The thing is, the big white dragon is like a 4 through 6 thing. The Jobber Dragon. So it's like technically there's enough here where if they wanted to, they could connect it to like 6 games. Yeah. I don't know. That might just be because since Zelda kind of did it, everybody's looking to fill that structure in with every other series that's loosely connected. But since there is connections in Dragon Quest, it could be. This is kind of a cool, like, celebration of the series. Right? An interesting way to end it. You know your game is ultra, you know, loves its formula, loves the fan base, and loves tradition when they've literally got a fucking credits for a random game that celebrates the old ones in it, right? Who cares what happened to the party members, right? We already saw what happened to them in the other timeline. Let's see what's up in Dragon Quest IV. I only really don't like it when they actually like try to adhere to it too much, like with Skyward Sword. I was like, that's way too much fucking lore for me, and it ends up being like goofy. And they can like, if you really care about it, like retroactively kind of like makes shit worse. It's just the big buff evil guy taking forms in the prophecy and the legend. Like, don't want to hear it. It was never a part of anything. It's cool you want to put some like light ties, like I guess Dragon Quest does, but keep it at that unless you've got a plan for the story from go, man. Or like an actual cool prequel that's got good lore and stuff. I don't know, I always thought the Skyward Sword shit was just way too on the nose. Way too much. Well, Master of Swords are actually just a spirit of some annoying robot girl. You're like, that's cool, dude. I like to imagine when I'm swinging the sword around in every game, then there's an annoying spirit of a robo lady in it. Like, nobody cares. Well, they do care. This guy fucked. This was one of the hardest final bosses in Dragon Quest. You had to grind like fuck to even have a chance, man. Yeah, you remember the dragon, man, in 4 through 6? They hype it up, and then all it is, like I said, is it's just a flying mount you use for one location at the very end. Like the biggest joke. The Bazillion phase boss was the guy who kept regenerating his arms and shit, and there was like different phases each time. Was it 4? I think that was the billion phase boss. This guy was annoying because you had to kill all of his arms like at once because he'd regen them. I think it was 4. I'd have to double check. They show us all of them then, yeah, before, if I don't see him after this. Kiefer's on screen. Whoa, dude, Kiefer was in the side quest in this game, dude. There was more Kiefer side quests in this game than there was anything else from 7, which was funny. Can I get some 3DS visuals in here? What if you've never played these ones? And then you just see spoilers. This is interesting to me just by coincidence because this is the last of all these ones I played. But most people haven't played them all, unless you're like probably Japanese, and then even then you might not have. If you're a Japanese fan. You're just gonna look at some of these and be like, what the hell? What's all this? And then they just like spoil the final boss or something. Oh, there's the final boss. We're close to it. They put the meme cave in this fucking ending too. There's a side quest for it as well. Apparently the guy who discovered the meme cave, that's all King Metal Slimes, is like, was a small time celebrity for a bit. Absolute Machine. I mean, I like them. They're comfy. I'd always play the next installment. I just don't think that they're punching above their weight at all. By design, which I can respect. Like, I respect it as a series, but yeah, I don't think they're pushing creativity or, you know, anything that I wish they would. I think they push, like I said, what they can, but they're never trying to like make it more than just Dragon Quest, which is where I kind of am like, okay, that's where I kind of am like a little less interested. Oh yeah, 10 spoilers. I still gotta play 10 someday, which is supposed to be like super long, because like every expansion's like another fucking game. Someday maybe. Who's this chick? Is that like the... Do you play the main character, but then the chick is actually like your voice essentially, like in a lot of those? 10's an MMO, yeah. In Japan only. You can play with this fan translation. Well, you probably don't want to say any English, probably banned or something. But there's supposed to be an offline version coming in Japan, so you'd assume they would put one in English too, but who knows. Erdrick. I like how this guy's the super jobber. Like, where he's not even called Erdrick anymore. He's not even cool, man. They just stole his name. Erdrick gave us like a high five. We sent his girl back in time just for him. Why would he be running for her? If this is back in time, he probably doesn't even know what's happened. He's like, who is this chick, dude? Two luminaries. DQ lore. Yeah, in a series where the fucking director said that he didn't care that he put in fucking like plot holes. Based. Why do we care? Yeah. I really feel like Erdrick had supposed to be some kind of like DLC or another game, but we don't want to do a game with him. Yeah, the mermaid thing is like a plot hole, I think. And he's just like, whatever. The payoff was worth it. That's a very quoted, very not genuinely. That's the idea that I got from it. Because I think she died before the time skip or the time thing, so but then she's alive in this. Who's this? Is this just Erdrick again? Or is this going to be like Dragon Quest 1 or something?
Cooey.
Cooey. Jump scare.
Wakey, wakey, rise and shine.
Chrono Trigger.
Morning, my darling.
Chrono.
It's time to get up. Today's a very important day.
Cooey. What? Dude, what are they pulling, man? They're trying really hard on like setting more lore, and this is more than I've ever seen a Dragon Quest attempt to do. Was that supposed to be Erdrick, the one we saw? Or is this like a different guy? Cooey. Who's Cooey? The thing is that Mother's voice is the same voice as your mother in the beginning of this. That's the intro of Dragon Quest 3. Dragon Quest 11 is a prequel. 3 is okay. Okay, so that is supposed to be Erdrick. Okay, so this is supposed to tie the first 3 games, I guess. What is this, some bizarro game that's set in between all of those just to have, like, just slot it in? Because like I said, he just becomes the proper Erdrick. Whatever, dude. They'll never let the original games go, dude. Came in at a good time, yep. Get the whole fin. Clocking in about 175 hours. Act 2 world leads to the Zenithian trilogy, the Act 3 world leads to the Erdrick trilogy, and then Serenica going back in time creates another timeline. Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't care too much, obviously, but it's like I'd still like to have it straight just to get a kick out of, right? The funny thing is like the bit like what is like 7, 8, and 9? It's like nobody cares about those, how they slot in. They never were planned to be a part of a trilogy. Jesus. Alright. Well, 175 hours. Probably more than that. With reloads and shit. Probably more like 180 hours. It's a long fucking game. Definitely over-prepared for that last boss, man. Thank you, Sam. Thank you very much. That's it. 1 through 11, minus 10. Is done. Let's do the tier list, huh? Should we just have this song in the background? Probably. It's the most fitting, right? Just get the theme going. The slime tier list? Yeah, is there a slime tier list we can grab somewhere? the most overplayed song from this game. I could just pick any Dragon Quest song then. Guess they just reuse half of them. Alright, so I prepped this. The games I've played. This is not the entire series, of course. Alright, we should actually close out of the game. Let me put on some music, yeah. Dragon Quest music. Dragon Quest 11 music. Dragon Quest 1 music. Let's do Dragon Quest 7 music. I don't know. Just something, right? It's not gonna get me destroyed. It's not gonna be like a super long tier list. Okay. Well, we'll do a quick tier list here. There's way too many tiers in this list. There's no way I'm gonna actually get that granular about this. Too many of these games run together for me. This bottom one will get destroyed too. So yeah, the only one we didn't play was 10 out of the main line because it's an MMO that I got a fan translate and get on Japanese servers, and I'd rather just wait and see if they're gonna English translate the offline edition. It's also supposed to be ultra long because it's a fucking MMO. So yeah, if we do any more Dragon Quest, it'd be the slime games, maybe the monsters games if the fan translation of the PS1 versions come out. Treasures, which comes out in a week or two, which is I think just another monsters game. Maybe we would try out the Merchant Man Mystery Dungeon games, but I'm not really like pushing it. I'm not looking to do like a full series playthrough anytime soon like we were with Kirby. I'll just kind of do them as we do them. The Heroes games, look, I've played all these, and I don't think any fan service would be hype for me. I was barely hype about that story, like tying at the end there, and that's about as fan service as it gets, so I don't know if I want to play a Musuo game for Dragon Quest, unless it was something unique. I've heard the first one's not very good, and the second one's a little better, but... So yeah, Rocket Slime, and maybe some of the Monsters games, but otherwise... Yeah, I think we're taking a break on Dragon Quest till 12 for the most part. Is the next song gonna start? It's just one big list. Alright. Is the Dragon Quest 7 soundtrack? Can you tell the difference? Nope. Alright. I kind of feel like I need to zoom this in more. So then I'd have to change it for you guys. It sounds better. The other ones are better. I guess I should talk about what I thought about Dragon Quest XI. Well, I guess we will here soon. Stay tuned, I suppose, right? If you care. I've kind of already said my piece, but we'll kind of recover it, I suppose, in the tier list. So this tier list isn't going to be like super in depth. A lot of these games run together. I had to like just a review material to remember even what like some of the smaller differences between like 3 and like 2 and some stuff like that where so I'm not going to be getting into how they change like small parts of the gameplay and quality of life until the later ones, because honestly they don't really change a whole lot. That's why it's hard to remember. Every Final Fantasy I can remember well enough, but these are very similar in art, similar in just the design philosophy, and it's mostly just upgrading presentation and quality of life, and a lot of that's not done in a big way till later. Other than that, it's just changing how they handle story, which story's always like kind of not a huge part of Dragon Quest, so it's more just the structure, not really like the characterization as much or the quality in any big way. Like the first 2 barely have a story. 3 starts having real stories. You know, 4 has episodic you know, different protagonist bullshit. And then from then on, they start kind of following the, you know, each town has their own episodic kind of anthology story, and there's like, you know, still your generic evil quest line. It's like, so they'll change how the stories work a little bit. You know, 8 doesn't have that much story, but then this game has a lot of characterization. That's kind of probably the biggest way they change, but even then you compare it to like a Final Fantasy or something, and the story's not very, very crazy. So anyways, we could start rolling through this. I guess I could talk about Dragon Quest XI real quick. I'll put Dragon Quest XI at the top. I don't know if it's going to be the best game. We'll see. But I think it's fair to say it's like one of the best ones. If not the best, we'll see. I mean, obviously it's got length, if that's your indicator of value or quality or something. I would say it's probably too long for its own good. I think the third act is probably their worst step forward, and it's at the point where you're probably going to be the most burnt out on the game. Oh wait, there was still something I wanted to do in Dragon Quest XI. Maybe I'll boot it back up. Or do I even care? It's like an achievement. I could do it real quick. It's something really quick. Just to literally say I did all the shit. Yeah, it never ends, dudes. We'll just talk about Dragon Quest XI while I do that. Yeah, it's got the best presentation. I think it's got the best characters in the series, the best gameplay in the series. So as far as the tier list goes, it should just be at the top, based on all that alone. Best town variety. Its biggest failing is probably its music. Probably maybe the length, some flipped content, stuff like that. I think they could have done a bit more with the dungeons and stuff with the big new budget. They're neat, but they're neat in a visual way. I think the mounts are a cool idea. Is this just like before the end? What is this? Let me go back to the front. Autosave her Hero of Erdrea. Okay, it is. So yeah, I like that the mounts are a thing. That's a cool way to kind of mix up the dungeons and the overworld a little bit. I wish they would have went a little farther and made the dungeons a bit more spicy. I wish, you know, also, yeah, some of the dungeons and shit were a bit more, yeah, just kind of just varied and fun there. But I like how they did the overworld. I think 8's was a little too barren. It was grander and more large and epic, but this is more fun to actually run through. Things are more dense, there's more varied environments and a smaller amount of literal steps. So that's pretty nice. I think I didn't write a bunch of notes for this, so I think the hand-holding, I think it depends on what you like there. You could say there's probably a little too much hand-holding in a way. It's not like it cuts down on the length of the game at all or the difficulty of the fights, but something that's really cool about the old ones is how they're almost like a puzzle. You kind of have to really explore and get deep into the towns and learn shit and write notes, and it's kind of cool. Also, some of the games are a bit more open-ended when you could do things. How many big giant key items, like the keys you find, how often that happens, is more often, so the reward for adventure feels a little bit juicier. In this, you tend to go to essentially just the next place that they tell you exactly where to go, they tell you where to land your boat, they tell you all that stuff. There's a few points where you have some choices. Post Evil Man Mordegon taken over, and then obviously in Act 3. But too little too late on that, because you've already explored the world. So, do I have that key item I'm supposed to be looking for? So there's like a key item I'm supposed to be getting. Maybe it's just in Taking 10. So yeah, overall, I definitely think it's the best of these. In terms of like overall games, though, while this is probably, you know, the core kind of combat and everything of Dragon Quest can really push itself without big mix-ups, it's still Dragon Quest, right? I think this is probably the Dragon Quest that's actually like is a good to great game, but like like it's a little bit more than just like, you know, it's pretty good, you know, it's solid. It's a bit more than that, I'd say, but still, I mean, it is the Dragon Quest trapping. It's, you know, it's the same spells, a lot of the same systems they've introduced in the other games, like the skill tree and shit. Just taken to their apex, I guess. The crafting's the most fun in this because you get like a little mini game that requires a bit of skill and levels up, and I think that's another thing that's really good about this is how cohesive everything is. Like, you know, the amount of resources that you get, you don't really have to grind much if you're thorough, which helps not have it feel like a pain to do crafting. So when you craft, the upgrades are big. You're not overloaded with an amount of upgrades until really Act 3, so each time you get something it feels pretty good. The ability to re-roll if you need to squeeze out a bit more upgrades to have a hard mode makes all of that the upgrading feel like much more rewarding, which makes everything else feel more rewarding because they all are in service of items. I said in the beginning that the money economy worked in tandem really well with the items. I would flip that a bit. You still buy stuff, and I used probably a good 2/3 of my money by the end, but a lot of that was in service of just buying forging materials. So I would say it still works, but you're definitely not buying equipment that often. You could, but since if you're doing side content, you have all the resources you need so readily available, and they're so easy to get, that there's really not a whole lot of point in buying most of your gear unless it's buy exclusive, which there is buy exclusive stuff, unless you want to steal shit. But overall, though, I still think it's really cohesive. There's a few issues with currency, like the casino. You can make everything in the casino, which makes it kind of shitty at times. They're also way overpriced. It's like $1 million for an item that would take me like 2 seconds to make. So there's some weird shit like that, but overall everything feels pretty tightly tuned. Enemy drops, being able to steal stuff, everything kind of flows into all the other systems well. For that matter, I think this one had the best skill tree, of course. The other games, you either didn't know what you were going to be building into, like 8, which just made it kind of a, you know, I like swords, so I guess I'll upgrade swords, and then just see what you get kind of deal. Or with, did any of them have anything better than that? Did 9? I don't think it did. So this is actually, there's some choice there. By the end you get just about everything. That's if you max out, so there's a lot of choice on the way there. You can respec as much as you want, which with high difficulty, you know, that's cool. The problem is the combat isn't so crazy that you'd ever really want to respec in any big way, right? You're not like, ooh, I want to try this move out and this move here. There's a lot of useless moves, like in any Dragon Quest game. Granted, you get so many moves in this, it does open up a lot of strategies compared to the other games, but it has that same issue that old Dragon Quest games do, where it's just like half of your moves, even your best ones, are worse than like early ones. I'm still using Unbridled Blade, dude, over like shit that took me hundreds and hundreds of fucking like P to unlock, dude, and my skill builder. So it's like the damage values and shit are just always kind of wonky. That's a little less rewarding in this. You kind of just have to try shit out and how things scale. Like, you know, some shit scales with charm. Not all the gear is made very well for charm. It costs, you know, maybe a lot of your defense and stuff, so you're probably gonna not use a lot of that shit. So there's a lot of like weird stuff that I think is entrenched in tradition, maybe, or just like poor balance that kind of cuts into strategies a bit. But it does make some attempts at having kind of new flavor in the combat. The forbearance stuff, having proper tanking, not as good as obviously like an Etrian. Having healing done through, you know, abilities. The status effect kind of activations and all that with Eric is pretty cool. Being able to pass your turns with Sylvanda, all of that's cool. I kind of wish it was like a little bit more ingrained in the game from the beginning and a little bit more of a focus. Then I guess it wouldn't feel as much Dragon Quest. You could tell they were trying to make it a little cooler, but even then, all of that stuff is stuff that games were doing a long time ago, so I get that they wouldn't want to change it in a huge way. Okay, he does keep them. But that's kind of why I say that this is kind of like the apex of what this combat can do. Little things like pep, while they're better than like tension, aren't really controllable in a super huge way. And if you can't control them a lot, like with pep bottles, they're OP. You could just make yourself invincible. They're really useful to have like really bizarre. He hasn't moved yet, but he probably will. I think that's where you unlock the super boss thing. As far as side content goes, this stuff is pretty cool here. The main quests, this main side quests are alright. They're pretty harmless. I don't like the pep quests and the rarefieds, but they're not too bad. They're at least not super annoying, and the rewards are okay. Yeah, I was just like, look forward to that in the next game. That this game has a full I mean, there's obviously just stuff like this game being fully playable in 2D that's like ultra impressive. It's just this huge extra thing you can do if you want. I would never replay this in 2D, but it's cool that it's there. If you're a huge fan, or if you do want to replay it, that's something you can just run through. I think just how the 2D gameplay works is just, while it is different, it's just worse. You just have less information, and turn orders are even more random. And it was a problem with the old Dragon Quest games, where because agility, turn orders were never really that predictable, even if unless you had crazy amounts of agility. Like even with a lot of agility, the boss could end a turn and then start a turn and wipe you out. So you had to have extreme levels of shit or play ultra safe. And since you never really knew when that kind of stuff would happen, you just get we'll just go grind, well, you'd rather just be able to strategize, right, and not have a bunch of bullshit. So a lot of the old games had that issue, and then this 2D kind of has that as well. Overall, the 2D content isn't super hard, but when it is, it's usually for those reasons. A lack of information, not knowing when your buffs are going to run out, how low the enemy is, when their buffs are going to run out. You can't use fast forward really, it's too fast. Same with the old games, but there's less going on in those. Peps and shit, I don't even feel if you can do multiple peps a turn. There's a lot of weird shit. It makes for cool stuff for a side quest, but I'd hate to play the main game like that. And you can just play old Dragon Quest if you want that system. That's another way this game improves the combat, is it just gives you a lot more information. Which is very powerful, but I mean, they balance the fights accordingly, I would imagine, so. Cool. Oh yeah, the giant upgrade to the combat system is that you can swap in your party members whenever you want. It really doesn't get used all that often, but it does get used, especially if things go wrong. Once again, it's like little kernels of greatness there. And it's probably the best that Dragon Quest is going to be without very fine-tuning the difficulty and how every character works and all that. But if they made the characters feel ultra unique, and the enemies kind of respond in kind, like maybe they had to have certain kinds of like characters to take them out, or certain strategies, and you could adapt your strategies to totally different extremes really quickly on the fly, right? Like, oh, you know, this enemy's here, I'm gonna have to do this kind of thing, and you swap in guys, and obviously more for boss fights, because that'd be annoying otherwise, but like, you know, kind of, they have little bits of it, right? Like the tank guy, you know, the Eric shit, some of the Sylvando stuff, the pastor and shit, like, but it just doesn't go far enough there, and I think they don't want to change it too much. I think it's fun for what it is, but other JRPGs are gonna, like I said, get a bit more creative. What is this? Is this like a boss fight? I don't know if I want to do another boss fight, man. I have to beat something to get this loser to move. We'll take a peek. I don't know if I'll mess with it. But yeah, if there's other stuff you guys want to bring up, by all means, it's just a huge ass game with a lot of shit. I don't think the episodic stories in each town are great. I think stuff like 7 and you know, 4 and all that probably. I don't even know about 4, maybe 5. Like, the storytelling's never been great in this, but there's a lot more flavor in like 7. For 7's issues with its length, it does nail the anthology thing they're going for the best. So I do wish that this kind of did that a little bit better. Like I said, the characterization is good. The main story is just obviously generic, which is fine. You can fill it with fun little stories and fun characters. You can have a generic structure, you know, vehicle for all that shit. Yeah, I do wish those were a little stronger. Stuff like their mermaid's good, but, you know, a lot of the other crap's whatever. If it's not something you've already seen in old Dragon Quest, it's nothing special. Altar of an Elusive Age. Oh, this game? What is this? Lord Dragon. The Dragon Lord. Defiled the first time. He defiled. Let me guess the second time. The third. Let me guess there's gonna be 3 in each of them and then like a final one or something. Zoma. Can I join them? I'd rather just join them and be down here. The music, the past masters. I'm guessing all of this is going to be harder than the final boss. Nah. Like I said, when we got to credits, that was going to be it. So I'm guessing you go through all of these, and then you gotta fight some kind of final guy. Who is it? DQ11, post-game, past masters. Has anybody ever done these? DQ11, record of an elusive age. One of these guys called Lord Dragon. Let's see if can I even find info on this. Yeah, this is obviously only in the definitive edition, but... I can't even find the end of it. Tackle... 10... Finale. Bickington finale. There's a time worm. Oh, that is the super boss. So yeah, the time worm is essentially just a gold version of the Mortigan fight. This guy does a video of it with no Idrigan's blessing, which is just you using invincibility non-stop. I love that that's a strat. So yeah, it's just a super boss, the level 99 required essentially. Main guy's character's name is Pog. Nice. Alright. Yeah, we're done. I'm good. I've had enough. Uninstalling. But yeah, overall I think Dragon Quest XI was a solid ass game. Like I said, I think it kind of runs out of steam by the end. Act 3 is a cool idea, and it's, for as far as a post game goes, it's pretty neat. There's a lot of stuff there. If you don't think of it as a post game, it's a little lacking, and I would argue it's not really a proper post game when you have stuff like that still available. So a little too much reuse shit. It kind of, you know, the final boss obviously is a little underwhelming because I was juiced, but also in part because there's just one phase.